everybody. I know it's been a long time since I posted my last video, and I have a reason for the long hiatus I took, but it was very much worth it, and I'm actually going to create another video after this explaining why I took that long hiatus, what I got from taking it, and where we are now. But with all that being said, this is a video that was requested for me a really long time ago, and now I'm ready to start creating content again. And so I wanted to start with this video because it's a really important question that people ask themselves when choosing a medical school. So today I'm going to talk about the cost of attending a Caribbean med school. I'll include a little bit of a breakdown, talking about like what they have on their site versus some of my actual charges, and I'll try to compare that to the cost of U.S. medical schools. And of course, I don't attend a U.S. medical school, so I can't tell you verbatim. These are just some numbers that I pulled from med school consulting sites, so they'll be pretty close, a pretty good estimate. However, they are not as accurate as the numbers I'll be showing you guys for Ross. And other Caribbean medical schools may be different, but again, I can only speak for Ross because I actually attend Ross. So with that being said, here's a snapshot of what the website posts as far as the cost for each semester, and I'll give you a little bit of breakdown. So you guys, at this point, you can feel free to pause if you need more time to look at these pictures. Ross gives you two options. The first option is called Ross Plus, and that is your standard curriculum where you have 5 semesters of medical sciences. And then Ross also has an accelerated track. The accelerated track is 4 semesters, and as you probably guessed, you need to make a certain grade in order to be placed into the accelerated track. The accelerated track allows you to finish a little bit faster, and it may be a little bit cheaper, not a huge difference. If you notice, there are about 6 clinical semesters in either of the tracks. It doesn't matter. So the cost for clinical semesters will be the same. The health insurance fee that you see is waivable, and I in fact did waive mine because I am in the United States Army Reserve, so I have my own health insurance, and in order for me to waive that, I had to submit a breakdown of what all my insurance includes, and then I had to get approval. Once I got the approval, I was refunded the amount for that health insurance. So if you have your own health insurance that's like adequate enough, you can get that money back. If for some reason you don't have health insurance or you want the additional health insurance, you have that option as well. Again, I don't have it, but I've heard from like a lot of the students that it's pretty adequate, and even though we've been remote, they've been able to refer them to people who do accept it. I actually think it's through Aetna, so if you are familiar with them, your health insurance plan would be through Aetna. The next thing you see is an education resource fee. The education resource fee is waivable if you don't want books. I opted to keep my books just because I thought that I would need them, but here I am, and I have probably opened a book maybe once or twice at the most. I really do not use my books. Some students do, a lot of students don't, and I was one of those students. However, I didn't want to cut myself out of resources, but if you want, you can opt out of that and save that fee as well. You only get one chance to opt out of the books at school. You get that chance during first semester. If you choose to keep the books, then you can no longer opt out at a later time, because all the books are available online. So once you get access, the books are yours to keep. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the technology fee. The technology fee includes the iPad, the case, the pencil, and various programs and subscriptions. Like you get access to Complete Anatomy, you get access to Kaplan, you get access to UWorld, you get access to Amboss at some point. So like there's a bunch of different subscriptions that the school offers you at certain times throughout your medical sciences, and so that technology fee goes to all of that. And real quick, I just want to show you guys what we received as far as like the iPad and whatnot. Okay, so this is my iPad. This is what the case looks like. I still have plastic on mine. I don't know what my thing is about like not taking the plastic off of stuff, but this is the case that we got. It's a pretty durable case. And so this is what the iPad looks like. As you can see, it has a raw screensaver. And then I got this Apple Pencil, and of course it came with the charger and like the other accessories to like charge the Apple Pencil and the iPad. People are gonna ask, which I don't even understand why you ask, like, no, that's not something that you can opt out of, to my knowledge. You know, you guys may want to ask and find out something different, but to my knowledge, you cannot opt out of the iPad. And if you have your own, then that's fine. You can use your own. But me personally, I actually wasn't gonna even buy an iPad. But I'm glad I did, because like I use it every single day. So it'll come in handy even if you're not like a big iPad person. But for me, I already had a phone, Apple desktop, a laptop, and I just didn't feel the need to add, but I got it anyway, and honestly I'm super grateful for it because I always use it. So with all of that being said, your medical sciences portion of med school is going to cost anywhere from 120 to 150 grand for those first 2 years, and then it'll be the same for your clinical sciences. So I'll let you guys do the math because I don't want to scare you with that big number. But I am aware that it seems to be a little bit more expensive than stateside schools, especially when you factor in all the traveling and buying plane tickets, because I recently bought my first plane ticket to Barbados, and it was not cheap at all, like by any means necessary. So definitely want to factor in the travel expenses. Okay, so when I looked into the prices of attending a U.S. medical school, the prices varied a lot, and this is for a variety of reasons. Some being the factors that contribute to the cost, like whether or not the school is out of state or in state, whether or not the school is private or public, and lastly, whether or not the school is an osteopathic school or an allopathic school. All of those create a difference in the pricing, but with that being said, the average cost of attending medical school is about 200 grand for the entire medical education, which is not a huge difference from attending a Caribbean med school. So contrary to popular belief, the costs are pretty similar. The only thing that may be different are like living expenses. With that being said, living on an island versus living in state. When you're living in state, a lot of times people can still stay with their parents or roommates versus the cost that you have for staying in campus housing when living in the islands. So I just wanted to clear that up. Okay, so now you're at the point and you know how much medical school costs, you know how much it costs to attend a Caribbean med school, and you know how much it costs to attend an in-state medical school. So how do we pay for med school? That's like another really big question and popular question I get, and I'll go through all the ways that I know you can pay for medical school. And of course there's always more information and more options, and I won't have specific resources as to where to obtain this money, but I can at least give you guys an idea of how most people pay for medical school. So with that being said, the first way to pay for medical school is by using scholarships or grants. There are like so many scholarships and grants out there for medical students, for minorities to apply to, and even Ross has a long list of scholarships. They give scholarships to plenty of their students. They give opportunities to apply for scholarships and grants every semester. So the money is there, and so if you can just write maybe like an essay or tell your story or participate in some type of organization, you can be awarded a stipend or grant or a scholarship, like I said before. And this is all money that you don't have to pay back. So that's number one way to pay for medical school. The next way that a lot of people pay for medical school is through the use of financial aid and loans. The difference between the two is federal money versus private loan, and the interest rates. interest rates and the repayment options are different depending on which loan that you use. I know for financial aid, the form is pretty simple. It's the same form that you would have done for undergrad or grad school. And basically, they just approve you for a certain amount. I know when it comes to financial aid, the process for obtaining financial aid is pretty simple. It's a form that you fill out online. It's pretty straightforward as far as the information that they request. They approve you for a certain amount. You get to choose how much you want to accept. You can accept all of it or you can accept a portion of it. My advice on that is to accept the least amount as possible. Make sure you have enough to cover school. Make sure you have enough to cover your living expenses. But remember, this is all money that we have to pay back, and you don't want to be in debt when you get out of med school. When you get out of med school, you want to enjoy your paychecks after not having a job for so long. So that's the downside to financial aid and loans. However, it is available to most people, and it's one of the top options that people use to pay for medical school. A third way to pay for medical school is through military benefits, and that's actually how I cover my medical school costs. I was active duty Army, and now I'm in the reserves, and with that you get the GI Bill, and there are some other school payment options, but for me personally, I'm using the GI Bill to pay for school, and it also covers some of my living expenses. So if you have been to the military or if you're currently in the military, just be aware that the GI Bill is a great way to pay for medical school. This is not money that you have to pay back, and it covers majority, if not all, of the costs of medical school. And the money can be used at in-state schools or Caribbean med schools. So just if you're unsure about whether or not you can use the money, I am using my GI Bill at a Caribbean med school, so it is definitely possible. And then the last way that you can pay for medical school, and everybody is not this lucky, but with contributions from family members, significant other, your own personal savings. For me, I didn't know I was going to medical school until about a year before I actually went. So I never really got the opportunity to save up for this. But luckily for me, I do have military service, and that worked out in my favor. So if you are lucky enough to have somebody contribute to your med school dreams, then by all means necessary, take all the help that you can get, because you're definitely going to need it. And also, if you're thinking about going to med school, it's never too early to start saving towards your dream. It'll pay off in the long run, and you'll be super happy that you did later. So I just want to give you that heads up. Okay, so I covered a lot of information in this video. I like to try and be brief, but also be informative. So I hope I achieved those two goals. I hope you guys have a better insight as to how much it actually costs to attend a Caribbean med school. Hopefully that'll be beneficial when deciding what school you want to attend and where you want to attend. However, don't let it be a deciding factor for whether or not you want to pursue medicine. Your passion should be pretty high up there on your priority list. And for me, the way I feel is that, debt comes and goes. You have to pick and choose what's worth having a little bit of debt over. And for me, if I were to obtain any debts going to med school, it will all be worth it. I don't regret the decision, not one bit. So I'm so happy to talk to you guys again, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Bye, guys.